The number 4 seeded Jaguars, the number 1 seeded Chiefs. Chiefs coming off the bye, of course, at 14-3. The Jaguars beat the Chargers. 5th biggest comeback in NFL history. 3rd largest comeback in NFL postseason history. We'll go through some of the gory details. Second play of the game. I mean, this was all Chargers to begin with. Second play of the game, Trevor Lawrence pass tipped by Joey Bosa, picked by Dre Tranquill. 2 plays later, Eckler in from 13, 7-0 Chargers before you could even blink. Next drive, 4th and 7 at the Chargers 33 for the Jaguars. Lawrence picked by Asante Samuel Jr. 10:02 left in the first quarter. Zay Jones totally held on the play, and Khalil Mack at least a half yard offside earlier in the drive. No calls. God, the officiating this weekend was so bad. Cameron Dicker, 22-yard field goal off that, 10-0 Chargers. They trade 3 and outs. Then Jacksonville, 3rd and 5 at their own 19, 2:09 left in the first quarter. Lawrence picked by Asante Samuel again. 3 plays later, Eckler in from 6, 17-0 Chargers. We're still in the first quarter, 44 seconds left. Another 3 and out for Jacksonville. Then the Chargers go on an 11-play, 62-yard drive. Ends in Herbert to Gerald Everett for 9, 24-0 Chargers. Subsequent drive, Jaguars, 3rd and 10 at the 50, 6:55 left in the second quarter. Lawrence picked by Asante Samuel for the 3rd time. 4th pick of the game. Chargers do get a 3 and out, but then the punt hits off the helmet of Chris Claybrooks. And Amen Agbangbemiga recovers it. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, 23-yard field goal. It's 27-0 Chargers. 4:25 left in the second quarter. And then the Jags had another 3 and out. And this is where it begins. This is where it all begins. The Chargers end up with a 3 and out after that. But on 3rd and 1 at their own 27 with 2:26 left, up 27-0. And this is the tweet we read earlier. Jet sweep. They lose 13 yards. They get that 1 yard. You know what they prevent? The Jaguars probably from scoring in that half because the Jaguars got the ball back. They went 7 plays, 53 yards. Only took them a minute 25, including a 4th and 1 conversion at the Chargers 26. Lawrence to Jones for 12. 2 plays later, Lawrence to Evan Ingram for 9 yards, 27-7. That's how we went into the locker room. 3rd quarter. Chargers start out 7 and out. Then the Jaguars go 14 plays, 89 yards, ending in Lawrence to Marvin Jones Jr. from 6 out, 27-14 Chargers. And you're like, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. But the Chargers get a Dicker 50-yard field goal on a drive where Gerald Everett had a 25-yard quote-unquote catch that went unchallenged by Doug Peterson and the Jaguars. 30-14 Chargers, and you're thinking, okay, maybe they righted the ship here. Jacksonville then, 5-play, 68-yard drive. Took 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Lawrence to Zay Jones for 39. 2-point conversion fails, 30-20 Chargers. 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Everybody texting each other, oh my God, it's happening. 4th quarter, Chargers, 2nd and 6 at their own 37. 13:46 left, 30-20 game. Herbert sacked, but a massive unnecessary roughness penalty on Trayvon Walker, where he just shoved Herbert down, extends the drive, eventually leading to the biggest fulcrum point of the game. We talked about it earlier. Doug Peterson declines a holding penalty on 4th and 3 at the Jacksonville 22 with 8:51 left. Al Michaels and Tony Dungy recognize it's an interesting decision for Peterson, but mention nothing about Staley's decision not to go for it, 4th and 3, which was the main point. Didn't even occur to Staley. Dicker proceeds to miss a 40-yard field goal. And again, this is what I said earlier. Brandon Staley, your biggest crime is you didn't go out being true to yourself. 2021, Brandon Staley goes for that. But not 2022, Brandon Staley. Jacksonville goes 10 plays, 70 yards. Lawrence to Kirk for 9 on a drive that included a horrible challenge by Staley on a Lawrence to Zay Jones 8-yard completion. And then the second biggest moment. 2nd and goal at the Chargers 9 with 5:30 left. Lawrence to Kirk, touchdown, 30-26. False start and a hold by Jawan Taylor on Nick Bosa goes completely uncalled. Bosa goes crazy, throws a tantrum, called for unsportsmanlike, spikes his helmet. Brandon Staley picks up the helmet and hands it back to Joey Bosa. He then spikes it again. Chrissy, does George Halas do that? Does Bill Parcells do that?
Yeah, what was that? I mean, the first one, okay, all right. He hands him the helmet. Here you go, son. And he throws it again.
Does Vince Lombardi hand it back? And here's where I wrote my note. Al Michaels, no sense of moment, no energy. This is my notes. No, my notes during the game. No sense of moment, no energy.
Staley knows he's going to need that support when it comes down to a vote, whether he has a job or not.
So what does it do? It brings the ball to the 1 yard line, and the Jaguars appropriately go for 2, and Trevor Lawrence does the Drew Brees wave over the plane, 30-28. Chargers go 3 and out. And then the final drive of the game, Jacksonville, 9-play drive, including a 4th and 1 conversion at the Chargers 41 with 1:28 left. Etienne for 25. Patterson from 36. Good. 31-30 Jaguars. Or as Al Michael called it, there's a flag. There's a flag. It's on the defense. Chargers ran 7 of 29 plays by design in the second half. Just 7 runs. Lawrence was 4 of 13 for 30 yards and 4 picks to start the game. In fact, the Jaguars' first 7 drives, 4 picks and 3 3-and-outs. And Lawrence finishes the game 28 of 47 for 288, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. He was sacked twice. Etienne 20 for 109. How much credit does Trevor Lawrence deserve for keeping his head in that game? The Jaguars, most incredibly, -5 in turnovers. -5, leading directly to 23 Chargers points. And, of course, they're taking on the Chiefs here, who entered Week 18 with the worst red zone defense, it should be pointed out, in the NFL, and the worst team on 3rd and 1 on offense. Just a couple notes about the Chiefs. I said the Chiefs would be 7.5-point favorites here.
Well, I thought 6.5, 7. I saw this game. It opened 8.5, 9. There's still 9s. I see a couple 9s out there. Almost all 8.5. I opened 8 just to be below the market. I thought it should be a little lower. I went back and looked. The Chiefs, everybody tells you how hard it is to play at Arrowhead. It is. Is it easy to beat the Chiefs on the road?
Yeah.
And I went back 3 years, and when I was giving everybody 3 points for home field advantage, that was kind of like the basic number. I was only giving the Chiefs 2. And then last year I started giving them 1. And this year, consistently a 1. And they've covered some numbers at home. There's no doubt. But I think this is just a good team no matter where they play. They don't have that big of a home field advantage. And, I was looking at the number and I'm thinking, boy, anything over 7 to me, it would have to be a take. And, I think this Jaguar team has really found itself. I talked about it, and I know we're running out of time here, but I mentioned last week on the show that there was a big coaching disparity in the Charger-Jaguar game. There was a bit of a quarterback disparity, too, but that had greatly narrowed the way Trevor Lawrence is playing.
I agree.
Greatly narrowed. This kid is really playing well. I think the team believes in themselves, their coach, their quarterback. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Good on him for bouncing back.
Absolutely.
Good on him. Got to give him credit.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.